Good afternoon. It's been quite some time. It's time for an update on the 728. Life's been busy in other ways lately, so apologies for not getting onto this. I have been slowly tickling away at this thing. The mechanicals are basically complete, and as you can see, I've moved on to the cosmetics. But we'll start with mechanicals. So brakes wise, new rotors on the back, painted calipers, new pads, control arms for the suspension on the back was all good, so I didn't have to touch those. On the front we've got new genuine BMW rotors and new pads, new control arms on it as well. So if I can show you a bit of those, maybe. Some new control arms under there, new sway bar bushings. It's riding really nice now. Underneath I've serviced the transmission and I've replaced the centre bearing on the drive shaft as well as the front flexible rubber coupling, repacked the CV joint on the back of the drive shaft. I've cleaned up the exhaust, gave it a bit of a tickle up here and there. Under the bonnet, the engine is all back together. It now doesn't leak any fluids at all, and it's running real nice. So things I've done, I've completely replaced the CCV separator and pipes. As I think I mentioned last time, the CCV system, crankcase ventilation, it drains down oil down into the dipstick and then back into the sump, but that tends to gunge up, and the lower dipstick was completely blocked up, so oil had nowhere to go, so it just filled back up through the system and caused all sorts of grief. Oil leaks being probably the minor aspect of that. CCV replaced, the Varnos feed pipe's been replaced because it was leaking. The boots have been replaced. I think I went over this last time. Water pump, thermostat, Varnos seals in there. I've also deleted the secondary air system. It's an emissions system that runs when you start it from cold, and it just pumps air into the exhaust for a minute or two depending on temperature to help reduce emissions during a cold start. I'm not sure that it was working properly. I couldn't really tell, and despite taking it apart, putting it back together, I'm unsure as to whether it was working, so a mate gave me a blanking plate and it's deleted, which has made this whole area a lot cleaner. The New Zealand new cars didn't have them. They were blanked from the factory because of the lower specification on the emissions in that regard. I got a new fan shroud from AliExpress. So far so good, can't complain, and a lot cheaper than an OE one. The shocks, I've redone the wiring. It was all para, so I peeled the wiring right back into here until I found some good wire, and then spliced in new wiring, a new connector from AliExpress that's small enough that I can still disassemble the shocks if I need to, and just tidied it all back up. So the motor is running nice now, and it's driving nice. Not that I've had it out too much. It's actually on temporary wheels at the moment because I've got the style 32s in being powder coated at the moment to just a basic silver type colour. So the next bit I've been doing, before I get onto the paint, the speakers in every door have been replaced. Also the subwoofers, I've repaired 2 subwoofers by replacing the foam surrounds around the cone. I did that myself. Actually got a set up in Auckland at at a place that reportedly repairs them, but I've had them there for a couple of months and they've done nothing, so I'll be going to get them back and I'll do them myself. But yeah, every speaker and every door was shot basically, so having replaced all those, it is sounding really good. I've got a Bluetooth adapter in place of the CD changer now, so I've got streaming Spotify off my phone onto the car. I've been buying a few spare parts, been to pick apart lately and picking up the odd thing. I've decided to go full black on the headlining and pillar trims, so I've got a set out of a 735i Motorsport which I'll be putting in. That's kind of going to be a winter job to do that. I've also replaced the back glass. It was all delaminating, so those are done. I think I'm going to have to replace the front glass because I accidentally, you can't see it, but I accidentally scratched this one, and now that it's done I can't unsee it. I'll be taking the wing mirrors off. So I've been getting onto the paint work, so you may remember the top surfaces, the clear coat was just peeling off basically, so I've got out with a sander, an orbital sander and a compressor. That's the piece I've been using, the compressor back there, and I've been meticulously stripping back the paint back to a solid surface, hopefully. These areas here where there's a bit of filler, there was a bit of rust, so I've just ground that out and filled it in, and I'll sand that back. So yeah, the hard work's kind of been done on the sanding back. I just did this bonnet in the last wee while. The sides, the sides are all pretty good. I've previously done a bit of work, as I mentioned in previous episodes. Sides are pretty good, pretty straight. There's a couple of little things I still have to do, but all they need is a rub back, and I've bought some epoxy primer to lay down as the first coat back down. I'll get a few coats of that down. Hopefully I'm going to get that done in the next wee while before it gets too cold. We're into mid-April now down under, and we're heading into winter, so yeah, I haven't got much more opportunity to get some paint down. Having said that, it's a nice 21 degrees at the moment and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so it is still warm enough to paint. So maybe over the next couple of weeks, if I pick my day right, I can get this epoxy down at least. And then from there I'll sand that back, see how it looks, and then put some primer filler down as the next layer, and a few coats of that, and that's where you do all your blocking and rubbing back and getting it absolutely as flat and as good as possible. I'm going to have to show some real patience there, because patience is something I don't have when it comes to that. And hopefully I'm going to get it into a state where it'll be good to go next summer for top coats. Having said that, I don't know if you should leave it in primer for too long. I think primer epoxy is okay to leave, but I'm not sure about the urethane primer filler. That could absorb moisture and lead to problems later, so I'll just do a bit more research on that. As I say, the wheels are incoming. All the wheel arch liners are out. I've got a couple of good used ones at Pick Apart the other day, so I think now, I mentioned last time I might put new ones in the 740, which I think I will do now, because I think I'm going to have enough to put some good used ones in this one, and all my new ones, which I've just bought a right front brand new genuine one off eBay at a price I would rather forget about. 4 new genuine ones will go in the 740. Also at Pick Apart I bought another seat. It's a comfort seat and it is in slightly better condition than my driver's seat. So the plan is to put this base on the driver's seat, but after I've refurbished and repainted it. But I'm still working out how to get these comfort seats apart, because they don't come apart like a standard seat does. The backs appear not to come off. Maybe I need just to take the top and the foam off, and the frame just all stays as one piece. I think that's how it might be. But yeah, it was a bit of a score from Pick Apart, 65 bucks. So yeah, one of the winter jobs we'll be working on that, because this seat is pretty bad. It's pretty flat in the foam on the base. So it's common practice, because that seat there is a passenger seat. It's common practice you can swap the bases over, the foam and the cover. You can't swap the frame, of course, because they're opposite. Yes, so that is a quick update. It's gonna lapse out of its warrant in April or May, so I'll probably put the registration or license on hold while I work on it over winter and work on it over summer. Next summer I've taken the washer jets out and the wiring loom for that, and in preparation for paint. Just fixed all that up. I have got a new door trim. These ones were pretty sad. I might end up getting a complete new set of door trims. I think that's probably what's going to end up happening. And I've got a set of fog lamps. These are from Schmiedman. They're quite good, even though they've got the depot name, which some people reckon is not that flash, but those fog lamps are alright. And a few other parts here and there. I have got a spare bumper, front bumper, that I'm going to be painting up. As I mentioned last time, this bumper's been ripped off accidentally, and going back on it doesn't sit very well, so I'm going to have to do a bit of jiggery pokery with that. But all in all, steady but slow progress. But that's the nature of the game, isn't it? So the grills are out. They were a urethaned and special, so they're not going back in. I'll have to get some new grills, probably get new genuine. So thanks for watching. Hit like. Am I supposed to say that each time? I think I am. And yeah, thank you. See you again soon.